Okay, welcome to Successfully Unsigned. I'm DJ Patty G, and I am so excited to be doing my first interview here. We had David do the first one, and then he got fired. So here I am. And I am with a very special guest, Atlanta and Chris from the band Hexproof.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Okay, great. Interview over.
Okay, that was quick. Let's go.
Yeah. So Hexproof is a great band. They have won Battle of the Bands, Murfreesboro Battle of the Bands, hosted by our very own Dale Shack.
That's right.
Which, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. Like, what did that feel like? Because that was kind of y'all's comeback in a sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, when COVID happened, I feel like everyone in music kind of took a hiatus because we didn't know if shows were going to be a thing.
Right.
And then I remember, I don't remember, Dale, I don't know how we met, but like, I just remember I said I was in a band or thinking about making a comeback with the band. And Chris did some tours with us in the past. So me and Chris were already talking and relaunching it, and then Dale's like, we do Battle of the Bands, and I was like, oh, sick, that'd be awesome. And we literally signed up for this only being us two. We did not have we did not have a bass player, we did not have a guitar player, and then we came together and we did it.
So you two are the only official members, correct?
Yeah, for right now. Yeah,
for right now, right. And so you're the lead singer and you're the drummer,
Correct.
okay. But so Hexproof has been around since 2017, okay? And it started when you lived in Florida?
Yes.
Okay. So do you want to talk about the start of the band? Or?
Yeah.
Basically, I grew up in the scene very early on and saw my friends do all of this and do original music. And I was like, I want to do that. So I started auditioning for bands. And I thought it was cool, but basically I was told no because I was a woman. And I was like, wait, what? Like, you know, they're like, we're actually specifically looking for a guy. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess you should have said that.
Let you come audition?
Yeah.
What?
And then here's the thing. Some of the auditions, you had to write a song for an audition. So I wrote a song for their band, and then they'd be like, oh, we're looking for a guy or whatever. And then later on find out they published that song that I wrote. So I was like, okay. Like, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself. So I did like a post on like some Facebook group. I was like, looking to start a band. These are my influences. Like, let's go. And that was the start of Hexproof. And, the original guitar player, when we were picking out our band name, we were trying to think of stuff that was meaningful because some of our favorite bands had like really interesting stories.
Right.
And we ended up saying what brought us together. It was Magic the Gathering, which is a card game. So we were going through card abilities. And I know. So like that's what brought us together. So we're laying out our cards being like, ooh, and actually my pick was supposed to be Hero's Downfall. So I was like, that's very pop punk, Hero's Downfall.
Yeah.
But my original guitar player at the time was like, yeah, but chant that. Like when we get big and you're chanting that, like, how does that sound? Hero's Downfall, where it's like, chant Hexproof.
Yeah.
Hexproof. Yeah. So that's where we decided we're going to be named Hexproof rather than Hero's Downfall.
Okay, I just want to say real quick, shame on all of the bands that didn't hire her because she's a woman. First off, you just have like the look of a front woman.
Right.
We'll get into your hair.
Yeah.
Like I am always just so obsessed with your hair. It's
Thank
just
you.
so cool.
It's amazing.
But yeah, and just your personality.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the backstory. For me, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, how hard is it to do it yourself?
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's easier if you can go into something because you kind of have something already established. Right. But I think it builds you as a person whenever you have to do it yourself, because when you come through it, you're like, I did this. And that's our message we say when we have shows is we have some of our songs specifically written on the journey of the band. And we go, if people tell you no or that you're not good enough or like you look a certain way, you are a certain way, that we're living proof that you can still do it. No matter how many people told you you're not good enough.
Right. And that is the theme of Successfully Unsigned. So, man,
boss lady herself.
So, like, saying all that, first off, I love the name Hexproof. I think partially because it reminds me of Hex Girls,
Oh,
which I'm all about.
Okay, but here's the
does.
thing. If we ever play a Halloween show,
It's perfect.
we already got
Yeah, we all can dress up
We
as
already
them.
got the-
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so I'm like trying to figure out where do I begin. So you talked about some of your influences, or you talked about kind of why you wanted to start and your influences, but who are some of your influences? I know one of them. and
Of course,
we'll
you
get
know.
into
Yeah,
that.
you're just
But-
wearing their shirt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some of my influences, I grew up an emo kid. I was MySpace queen.
Wait, really? I would have never guessed.
I
Looking
look
at
the
you.
way I do now because my mom never let me, like, Hot Topic was the devil story. Like, you could not go into Hot Topic.
I love Hot Topic.
I could not color my hair, nothing.
Hot
right?
Topic, sponsor us.
Sponsor us. Yeah. So growing up, I got first introduced to like what's now called dad rock. So like Linkin Park, Creed. We love Creed.
Creed, yeah.
We love Creed. And then my mom, I called it baby making music. Like, you know, the stuff that's like, they're not saying they're getting freaky, but like they're down. You know what I mean? Like J-Lo, you know, like, or like making it rain kind of thing. Yes. So I had that to grow up with. And then I was like, oh, MySpace became a thing and I ventured off. So one of the first bands obviously was Paramore. And Paramore had a huge influence. And I probably got introduced to Paramore when I was in middle school. And to find out she got signed at 14, I was like, I can do that.
Right.
Obviously, we're not signed yet, and I'm not 14. But I think the whole point was that even though she was a woman, she brought this like bad feel, and she didn't have to act like, I guess, ladylike.
Yeah.
It was more like we're putting on a show, and she belts her heart out.
Yeah.
But that was one of my major influences in my music. But I never ever want to be compared to Paramore. So that's the thing is like, I say they're an influence, but I hate also admitting that because then you'll see that.
Okay, let me go change shirts real quick.
I just feel like that's super common for at least women. Like if you name some women bands, they're going to be like, oh, we see it. You know what I mean?
True.
So the best compliment I've gotten from our band is a girl version of Nirvana.
Dang.
And I'm like, okay. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. But so Paramore's an influence. 4 Years Strong. It's a pop punk band, easycore band. Circa Survive, like all those kind of emo bands. Dance Gavin Dance, Taking Back Sunday, Seosin. Of course, with like my family's background, I love like Heart. You know, Fleetwood Mac. I will sing Fleetwood Mac all day long.
Go check out their cover on YouTube of Dreams.
Yeah, hit it up at that Spotify session. So yeah, just influencing that. But being brought up with different like genres, especially with parents listening to, I told myself like creating Hexproof, I want to do a hybrid genre. So like someone like Chris's influence are going to be way different than mine. And
I grew up playing everything, you know, being a jazz band drummer, marching band, and then I grew up classic rock in my blood for sure, and then hip hop, and then a little bit of Latin because I'm half Mexican, you know, listen to, you know, mariachis.
we Hispanic up in here.
Yeah.
Obviously, all three of us
Latino
are Hispanic.
community. Let's go. All right. So yeah, a little bit of everything. As a drummer, I grew up taking lessons and stuff, learning all styles, all cultures, all beautiful. They all mesh together, and that's what makes, you know, music great. And all coming together, different styles. You know,
I love it.
So we're still really finding our different influences and how we want to piece together our own sound personally. You know, as we're really now looking for the right connections as far as the bass and guitar goes, because we're ready to move forward, basically playing like new music that we want to write. And so those influences will also, you know, affect what we do too. So we're excited right now to see. This is really just kind of the beginning of the new sound and this new kind of era that we're trying to move into.
Yeah.
So Chris, first off, how did y'all meet, and what made you be like, this is like the band I want to be part of?
For sure, yeah, most definitely.
Tinder, right?
Yeah, Tinder, yeah, you know. we all need some love out here, and you know,
I'm actually banned from Tinder.
It gets yeah. Oh yeah, she's banned from Tinder. I forget why.
I literally have the proof. Hold on, I'll show you real quick.
Yeah, it's an interesting story there. Yeah, so no, we didn't meet on Tinder. We met on Facebook, but close enough, I guess. And so yeah, I moved out here to Nashville looking to start playing music in 2019, and she was one of the first bands, actually the first band that I hit up. They were already established. They had everybody except the drummer. So I said, yeah, I'll come in and we'll fill it out. And we really clicked, and I like the music. It's in my style, you know. Yeah. I grew up playing a lot of kind of punk rock stuff too. Dave Grohl, like that's why I'm like, oh, cool. I didn't know we were compared to Nirvana. That's nice. You know, Dave Grohl's one of the best punk rock drummers too for Nirvana back in the day. So still kind of taking those influences. Right. Like I have a heavy grunge kind of influence, you know, garage band growing up.
Oh yeah.
And then just like a day to remember was like, I remember one of the first shows I went to, like just me and my friend at like 15, 16 and like a, you know, musty club, and now they're just doing huge stuff. So it's really cool to see the growth, like just of music and like people too, and just having a dream and going for it, you know.
For sure.
And so she had that attitude, and so we clicked on that, and it's like, we're in Nashville, we're in the city, let's, you know, work together, and then
make stuff happen.
We were doing great, and then, you know, tornado hit and pandemic, of course, but we stayed connected through all that time, and, you know, talking online or whatever. And as soon as things open up, she hit me up, I'm like, you know it, let's start rock and rolling.
Awesome. So I didn't realize that you were in the band before.
Right before COVID. I joined right before.
Coffee House.
Yeah.
Was that the first show?
We played like a couple shows right before, and then everything got shut down.
Where did you move from, Chris?
Central California. Near Fresno.
Okay, man.
So Central Cali. Yeah. Drove all the way out here, shoved all my music equipment in, and we're doing it out here. Part of a bunch of bands now. Hexproof being one of my favorites. Okay. And we're excited. Yeah.
Man, this is like I feel like such a good story for a band.
Thank you.
It really is. Okay, so like I said, Atlanta, I do want to talk about your hair. Because it's always so pretty and glorious and colorful. And
hey, I do Chris's hair too.
Yeah.
You just got
if you get your hair done, first off, where they can, you know what? We'll plug at the end. We got a lot to plug. You have like 80 Instagram accounts, I think.
I just made a new one.
I know you did. When I saw that, I was like, girl, what?
You know what? Because you know what I post on my private one. I post some BS. That does not need to be out to everybody.
Private account.
That does not need to be out to everybody. Dale knows exactly. I know Dale knows, what's up. And so do you.
Yeah.
The little green Instagram, you know.
Yep.
So this one's public, and I'm well behaved.
Gotcha. Sure. Okay, so just talk about like hair real quick and like kind of where that passion came from, how you kind of balance between that and music, and then Chris, if you have any like other passions. Talk about that too.
Sure. Okay. So my hair color is a mixture of like 3 brands. So I actually have Haley's brand in my hair, Good Dye Young. That's the yellow in my hair. And then I work for the brand Moroccan Oil as my adult job. And I kind of have a mixture of their orange and yellow, like in some places. And then I have my berry as Joico. Okay. And a lot of these, Good Dye Young's available anywhere.
Right.
They have it at Sephora, Ulta. I think they have some in Walmart, Sally's, all that type of stuff. So it's like that's accessible to everyone. So if everybody wants my hair color, Haley kind of helped with that. But being a professional hairdresser, I have also a professional brand in my hair. But honestly, that's what took so long to start Hexproof back up, because I love my career as a hairdresser and I didn't want to have to choose. Right. So I travel for a living with hair, but I also want to travel for a living with music.
Yeah, you're literally everywhere all the time.
Yeah, I just got back from Orlando. So it's like, how do I do that? And it took someone who's like mentoring me to be like, they go hand in hand. And I forgot who it is, but she's a country artist. She was a hairdresser. And she's, I don't want to get this name wrong, but I think she wants the person who sings "You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man."
Oh my!
I think I could be wrong, but she sings a known country song. She's a hairdresser.
Well,
she was a hairdresser, and she met her husband.
The woman who's saying that is dead.
Okay, R.I.P.
You're like
I could be
old
wrong.
Country
Please
star.
don't quote me on this.
Oh my goodness, what's her name?
She's older, but she
I gotta look it up.
You gotta look it up too, because I think her husband's like George somebody, and he's a country artist. But this is what that mentor told me is like this.
Loretta Lynn.
No, is that? That's not Loretta.
Oh, okay.
Wrong song then.
Then you're thinking of
somebody else.
Yeah,
Loretta
Lynn just passed away.
Somebody who covered. Maybe it's somebody who covered it. I know.
Yeah.
It's so. I didn't know she sung. Oh, sorry, it's the worst. I don't really listen to country. Anyway, that's probably why I don't know this story, because I don't listen to country. But basically, this hairdresser cut this country artist's hair, who's a male, and they got married and pursued her singing career. But she started as a hairdresser. And she just cut people's hair on tour. Yeah. And that's also what I do as a hairdresser is I'll go on tour with bands, or when they come to Nashville, I'll cut their hair before their show or style it or whatnot. And then I put in a plug. I go, hey, this is my band, or this is my salon.
Cool. Like, that is the best way of marketing. Like, and I mean, we've talked about that before, just like using your other talents that you have to network yourself, and the way that you have that. And literally your marketing is on your head.
Yeah.
Like when people ask, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair." Like,
I go, I have a really great hairdresser. Yeah. And then I show them my Instagram. I'm like, here you go.
So cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. So they go hand in hand. And once I accepted that you can have both, I just went with it. And so far it's like you said, it's helped both ends.
For sure.
Both as a clientele point for a hairdresser and as for our band. So
for sure. And if you ask her to practice with your head, don't do that, because she'll get mad and roast you on Instagram.
Okay, first of all, no.
I didn't do that. Let me
clarify it. If you are a man trying to hit on me and offering me a free service saying I need practice on your hair, what is that flirting? Because that's
is that flirting?
Like, I don't understand that. Like, no.
Okay, Chris, what do you do on the side?
Yeah, so on the side, I'm actually a substitute teacher for the most part, teaching kids, all ages, elementary and middle school. I also teach drum lessons. I'm working on building that business back up. now that things are kind of back rock and rolling. I used to work at a music school back in Visalia, California, my hometown. So I grew a music school out there, and that's kind of what I'm venturing onto these days, is trying to put that together out here in Nashville. So I have all the different instructors and just kind of, game planning that. I just launched a new business called Crossheart Company. So we're a clothing brand, but also offer like fitness and health coaching and stuff like that. I've been working on that. Following all those people on Instagram, they make you feel guilty. So I'm like, okay, I got to get healthy. So, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
This dude is a beast at cardio, man.
I believe it.
Yeah, marathon run training all the time, trying to do that, and eventually qualify for the Boston. I need to get faster and stop eating Krispy Kreme donuts, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, no, just grateful to be a part of other groups and get to be a part of more stuff like this in the community and try to get more involved, overall, just in general. So,
man, I appreciate y'all coming, because it sounds like you guys literally don't have a second ever. You guys sound so busy.
No, I mean,
no, we got time. You make time for what's important to you.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm a big believer. If you wanted to, you would.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it's like, for us, like, we're very business minded, but like, our whole brand, both of us, is supporting the community.
Yeah, for sure.
Support
Every
each
time
other.
we go on stage, we're like, we want to support you. We want to be there for you, because our story.
Yeah.
No one supported us. Everyone said no to us. So why would we do that to someone else? Yeah.
I love it. Such a good story. Okay, so transitioning into y'all's music, like, first off, do you guys like have a favorite song? Actually, before I ask that, so you have all of your music on Spotify. I was like, let me go through the full discography and everything.
It's not a lot.
So we have part 1,
yes,
wherever part 2 is, I don't know, but.
They'll be there one day.
Chris, were you part of the band at that point?
No, so I've only recorded on these new tracks that we have coming out now. So it's a little
so much better.
You'll notice it's a little different sound, just based, like I said, on the influences that I grew up with. I play a little more like technical style, but also just about the energy in general and bringing that aspect. So I had to learn the old material, but in doing so, I also also kind of make it my own too. And she's like really cool with that and us going with the live vision. But yeah, now just totally new sound, right? So
totally new sound.
Okay, so that being said, do you guys, well, I mean, I guess I was going to ask what y'all's favorite song is. Is it Together Again?
Honestly,
or is it...
To be honest, it's the new one we haven't released.
The new one that nobody's heard is the new groove, like the new vibe.
When we were making an inspo playlist, a lot of influence for me personally was A Day to Remember.
Same. Okay.
So we have a breakdown in our newest song.
Yeah, a couple breakdown sections.
Yeah, and Chris was amazing playing in the studio. Even the producer was like, "This is the best drummer I've had in the studio." And I was like,
"Whoa!"
Yeah, I was so like, cool. "Heck yeah!" I was like, "He's for hire if you need him."
Yeah, the whole studio experience with Thunder Sound was really cool. We did that, and that really helped kind of shape the new direction that we're trying to go with.
I think it was a fresh start. Not to sound however, but it's like we came back and won Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, for real.
Then we won a free studio session, which is where we recorded our new song.
Yeah.
So now we make connections out in Kentucky. And then we had our second show at the end where Paramore first had their show.
Oh my goodness.
So, and then it's like, just to bring us back to like reality, we just had a house show and made even more connections with beautiful people at this house show. So it's like, it almost seems like, it doesn't seem real. Like I know we started back up in January, but I feel like we've already hit so many great things.
It sounds like it. That's huge. Also, how did y'all win a studio session? That's so cool. Was it like a contest?
It was a social media thing.
Okay.
So we literally were like, tag us, please. Yeah. And we kept reposting their video. Just think of it this way. Like, it doesn't even have to be that. That's an example, but say you were doing something. It takes me a second to post what you're doing and brag about you.
Right.
And you're going to get tagged in that and you're constantly going to see that. So that's what we wanted to show Thunder Sound is like, we don't just want a free session from you, but we want to promote you too.
Right. Right.
And I think that's what worked. Yeah. I don't know. When I talked to the producer, he was like, he was nervous. I will say that. 'Cause he's like, your old stuff is interesting. And I was like, yeah, I mean, we were babies when we wrote it. And the only reason I keep it on there is for the growth.
Oh, for sure.
So when you start there and you hear what we hear now.
So happy.
Yeah.
I think that's good to see the evolution of bands too. You know, you think about the bands you like Devil Wears Prada comes to mind for me. Like I remember the first recordings were like the first stuff was like super insane. I loved it all, but like there's an evolution and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's kind of like what I'm thinking too. Yeah.
Okay. So new song, which will possibly.
We don't even have a name on it. Like,
I call it "Hope You Find." I think that's like the best thing we got. Yeah.
Here's the thing: we've played it live already. Yeah. So if you come to our shows, you will hear it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Insert plug.
So do you have like what's your best story behind a song? Anything?
That's you. Right there.
Or like, do you have like,
dude? It's inspiration. Okay. You know songs? Me. Mm-hmm. I'm petty. I am the emo Taylor Swift. If you do something to me, you're gonna get a song written about you. Okay. And here's the thing: I make it so broad that you might not think it's about you, and that's even more torture, in my opinion. You're like, is this about me? I don't know. But that's another thing with all of our songs. I try to write it in a broad aspect where you can take it as a relationship, or you can take it as like you're like a hot dog. Like I want you to relate to it in different aspects, but basically I wrote this off of a relationship, and basically I will never know to this day if it was actually real or not, but I'm pretty sure this person was talking to somebody else and left me for this person. And one of my favorite lyrics in this song is I won't beg you to stay and fall in line.
Period.
So I think this song too is also like reminding people that you can set boundaries and you can be completely fine without that person.
Yeah.
So the lyric, I hope you find what you're looking for. That's anything in my life that like people, if they enter and they leave, I'm just like, if I ain't it, babe, that's okay. But I hope you find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then I will see you in my stories on Instagram.
Literally.
Petty.
Literally. Oh my goodness.
See you later, huh?
Chris, do you ever sometimes just say like, girl,
yeah,
like, you know what,
that's why I'm in the band. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like,
he's the mediator. Like,
yeah,
okay,
I'm like, all right.
he just said he's also Hispanic. Okay, but he's
yeah. But I'm half, so I'm only half as spicy. You know.
Yeah.
Also, like Hispanic women versus Hispanic men.
Totally different. Totally different. Yeah. So. Yeah, totally different. I'm also Canadian, so it's like I have some chill, but like you'll never know if you'll be getting, you know, like tequila shots from me or maple syrup. You know what I mean? So it's like you just won't know at this point.
Or both.
Interesting analogy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so like I mentioned this before. Do y'all's family like listen to your music? Do they support it? Like any?
Do you want to go first?
I feel like she's got a funny story about this one. So.
Okay. Yes and no. Also, another thing that fuels the band is I didn't really have that support system. A lot of my family thought music was a waste of time and money. And a lot of them were like, why don't you just sing pop or country? At least you might have something. And I'm like, I don't want to sing pop or country. You sing one karaoke or Carrie Underwood karaoke song at a church talent show. And my family's like, country is your passion. But like, I don't know. None of my family are artists. So, I mean, being like growing up in a Mexican household, like the women don't work. They just breed babies and get married. Or back then you get married and then breed babies. So back in the day. So being the only artist in my family, I think it was something unknown to them, both hair and music. So, didn't really have that support system. I remember my mom came to one of my shows and she said, "This is so loud. Please don't invite me to any of these ever again." And that's why she has a song written about her.
Go check out Lynn on Spotify.
So go check out Lynn on Spotify. And it's funny because it's like, I mean, you know me, I'm a very blunt person.
Yes.
So like if God forbid my mom watches this and she calls me up, I'm going to have the same conversation with her. Yeah. This isn't me also being petty. Like I'm very transparent person. Yeah. But my dad, however, he just flew up from Florida when we played at the End and came to our show.
Super cool.
Aww. So this man literally bought a plane ticket, paid doors, and was like,
Hexproof. He was rocking out.
Dad?
Yeah. Oh, he loves Chris. He's like,
he's
drummer, the energy.
We vibe.
Yeah.
I love it.
So did family, like half of them, yes, half of them, no. But I take all of that as again, inspiration to just feel this even more. For sure. Because I know who's going to call me up when I'm opening for a big band. Yeah. And be like, hey.
Yeah, for sure.
Get me back.
For sure.
Stage. Yeah. So, but Chris probably has a sweeter.
Yeah. You know, I'm very fortunate. My parents, you know, they're crazy enough to get their kid a drum kit at 12 years old. Yeah. So, you know, my parents are a little nuts to do that. So yeah, they've supported me, paid for my drums growing up. I took drum lessons, you know, with a master instructor for like 4 years. I did jazz band and marching band all throughout, and that cost money and stuff. So yeah, my parents are some of my biggest supporters, number one fans. They listen to all my music. They tell everybody to go listen to all our music and out there in Cali. And so they're like, my dad's like a promoter for me too. He's like, yeah, my son plays drums and, you know, check him out. And so he's always showing people and stuff. And so it's great to have that. At first, when I started doing music, was a little bit confusing for them because I just graduated college and then like basically threw my degree in the trash and was like, I'm going to do music full time. And I was working at Guitar Center, started selling music and traveling and playing music. And they're like, okay, I guess. And it took them a while to kind of see like, oh, this is legit, you know, like.
For sure.
But yeah.
Okay. So what is y'all's like creative process for making a song? Do you have one?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of, I mean, it's one or the other. So for me, I write lyrics just to write lyrics. If something's in my head or I have a melody, I will pull up my phone and do like a voice memo. Or if I have lyrics that I think are like, oh, these are super good, I will write them. But half the time it's like, it has to start with like a guitar player bringing in something, and then I can write over that. I think our writing process is super fast. I mean, you know me, I got a lot to say. So I think like writing songs is super fast.
Yeah.
And then same thing with Chris. I feel like Chris can put down drums. Like,
yeah, I got a lot of ideas, and then just playing with a bunch of different guitarists and bassists, which we are looking for. We're on the hunt, you know, to look for that chemistry for songwriting and stuff. Yeah, for songwriting and stuff. So hit us up in the DMs, you know, at Chris Ram, at Hexproof, at
Atlanta X Jade.
Yeah.
For other accounts.
All 50 of these accounts.
Etc.
So, like, what about, can I ask, like, what about your kind of, when you first were starting out, your first, do you remember your first song that you wrote? That
is a good question. I think the first song I ever wrote, which I think is nowhere in existence on the internet, is I think it was about pretty much exactly what I said earlier, like everyone saying, no, you're a girl. I think the song is called Don't Mind Me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, don't mind me if I'm just doing my thing. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, for sure.
But with a pop punk influence. So like, leave your hometown, don't stay here. Like, you know, and then throw in like, but I still love you. Bye. Yeah. Again, that's why it's nowhere on existence on the internet. You know, but the first one we like wrote that we performed was probably Still Standing, which was
I was gonna say that was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that was about an abusive relationship. Oh. Yeah. Drama. Yeah. So again, being a woman in the scene, when that happened, I was vocal about it. Yeah. But that person was also in a very known band in Florida. So they're like, you're lying because he's popular. And I'm like, you're right. Why would I just make this up? You know what I mean? And it's funny because I wrote that song and then we started getting the same shows as them. And then we started getting the same shows as their friends. And it's like, oh, you're here? I'm going to play this song Still Standing. And it like everyone knew who the song was about. So
and the queen of pettiness goes to Atlanta Horses.
Bravo!
Oh my goodness, bravo. I love that.
Just call me Karma. No,
I love that
herself.
That is good. No, I seriously, I was like, when I was listening, I was like, this is really good. Which, I mean, I guess if it comes from such a traumatic
but people have said that's gotten them through their work day. Yeah. Like, they're just like, I don't know if I want to be at this job or something too. They're like, I'm just going through something mentally. They'll listen to that. And that's how I want our music to be like presented is I don't want you to think like everything's about a person or about a relationship. I want it to relate to you again.
Exactly.
You can listen to Still Standing and be like, you know, I really miss that bologna sandwich. And whatever helps you
Dale, that's
resonate.
You.
Yeah, Dale. Like I just miss that food item. Like whatever helps you. Because I think we all can agree, like music helps us get through almost anything. Right. If we're sad, happy, like we turn to music for a lot of things to help heal us.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I heard you the last time. What was it? Lizzo and Harry Styles? Yes. Dale doesn't even remember because that's how great of a friend he is, right?
She's talking about one of our episode that we just released about collaborations and how I sobbed when I heard Lizzo and Harry Styles.
Because he was going through it.
And
that was literally last episode.
Literally,
I got you. I got you. We can pray together. I got you.
I just edited them. You're in it.
Yeah. So when you like listen to those old songs, like what does it feel like when you listen to those? Like, is it hurtful? Do you not really listen to them? Or
I don't really listen to them because I think we all agree we're ready to put out new stuff and we've evolved from that. And I think those songs that are older, it's a reflection to be like, that's where we started and this is where we're at, or this is where we're going. So I like that they brought us attention, momentum, and we got a fan base with them. But is it something I relate to as much anymore? Probably not, because again, I got way more to say and way more traumatic stuff has happened since then.
Yeah, for sure.
But now we know how to like play our instruments. Like I think I wrote that when I was like 22. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to tell you my age, but that is like 4 years ago.
Girl, what? I was just making jokes. She's like, she's 40.
Yeah, I'm 45 actually. So, yeah. And it's like, if you think about, I don't know, anything you used to do as a kid that you thought you were like awesome at, and you look back and you're like, That was just a phase. That was just a phase.
It's not a phase.
I was very sad back then. I'm still sad, but I know how to control my sadness now.
Through music.
Through music.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness. Okay. Well, on that sad note, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and do some show and yell.
Woo.
Nice.
Welcome back, guys. So we are ready to do some show and yell. So you were like, I think you mean show and tell, right? And I was like, no, show and yell.
Dude, you called me out so hard, and since then I've listened to your show. Yeah, since then I was like, way to keep me in check, as besties should.
Yes.
So.
Well, I mean, you know what? I now know that I can be just as petty with you.
Absolutely. I am here for it, okay?
Yes. So, do you want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I was not going to bring an item, but she told me to. So I actually brought a serious item.
Okay.
You guys know I usually have like stupid toys and stuff. But today I have some artwork made by my friend Skylar, who I haven't seen in years, but I'm actually going to see her this year at camp. So
Insert plug.
very exciting. So she... I'm sorry?
Are you going to yell?
Oh, artwork!
Yes.
So this is artwork that my mom commissioned for my skin. My skin.
Your skin?
My friend Skylar. And it was for my radio show that I used to have at the time called On the Noise. If you want to listen to any old interviews or episodes I did, I actually did an interview with Dale last year. And it's on a YouTube channel called On the Noise. It's super small. But yeah, so she made me this, and it's just like a little microphone and stuff, and it's really sweet. Like, I just absolutely love it. So thank you, Mom. Thank you, Skylar.
Someone loves their kid.
The end.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Good mom.
What do we have next here? Oh no, I'll go
You
next.
go,
You go
you go.
last. Save
Yeah.
the queen for last.
No.
Here. All right. So I wore two. You know, I got two here. I got both these items at Christmas, this last Christmas, 2022. Yep. So the first one here, let me stand up. Oh, the first one, I got this for Christmas. I'm sorry, I got to shout in the mic. Show and yell.
Ooh, okay.
The Vitruvius Man, right? Leonardo da Vinci art piece right here.
Did he make that himself?
My brother David gave it to me from Da Vinci himself. Yeah, no.
I love it. That's actually very cool. That's very cool.
I like it because it's, that's what I'm trying to do with my life is become this guy right here. So it's pretty cool.
Growing 2 arms? Or
Yeah.
4 arms?
4 arms. Yeah. 2 legs. So I can play more drums at the same time. But yeah, and my other one is this bracelet my parents got me for Christmas again. And it's a little bracelet with the cross and it says love you forever because my parents, my big fans. We're making it big out here, Got to leave a legacy for my name,
I love it. That's so sweet. You're so wholesome, Chris.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Chris.
Trust me,
Yeah.
just on camera.
I was gonna say if you're hanging out with her, I don't know.
No, oh my gosh.
Behind the scenes.
No. I always
Banks.
joke because I'm like, you think I'm the diva in the van? Who brought 2 items? Just take a step back. Who brought 2 items?
That's so funny because I have brought like 3 items before.
So just
Yeah.
we keep each other in check.
All right, you got to yell your item here.
Okay. Artwork.
Yeah.
Twinsies. Yay. So, dude, when you asked me that, I was like, what do I bring? Because for me, I guess like, I don't know if that's good or bad. I haven't found anything sentimental in an item before because if you know me, like I lose a lot of stuff. So I'm like, I was looking around in my house and I was like, what do I have that I've either had forever or that I kind of like don't realize I look at every day? That's a reminder. And it was this. It's a little bit faded, but this was the part 1 EP.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing on the part 1 is it's definitely filtered. We popped out the color, but, I just remember like when you first start a band and when you're so young starting a band, like you don't have the budget for like a graphic designer and stuff like this. So, this is called, Dirty Cup Pour.
Okay. Yeah.
And you naturally drink when you do this, but we did not do that. We just did the cup. That's why it's called dirty, because you
Gotcha.
Yeah. You get a little saucy. But what you do is you take a cup and then you pour what colors of paint you want into it. And then when you got your paints, you just flip it over.
Yeah.
And you just do like one of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And this is where we came up with like the Hexproof art, because we were poor little kids and like Walmart paints were $1 or 99 cents back then. And this is what we did. And we took a picture of it with my camera and then did it. And then I just have like a little quote on the back just to kind of keep things going.
Yeah, for
so
sure. It says with God,
all things are possible.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
like
just
that.
a reminder, again, where we started versus where we're at now.
You guys are literally such perfect guests for this show because, no, I'm serious. Just because, like, everything that you're saying is literally, like, our brand for the show of, you know what? It wasn't working out with auditions or whatever, so I just went and did it myself. And you know what? Like, we don't have anything, so we're going to use our resources and get a couple dollars of paint and then make our own album art. And you guys are just
DIY to the day.
Thank you.
I love it. Like,
thank you.
I see why there is success happening, even just from your short comeback that you've had.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
you guys are great.
Thanks.
You're a great host. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, okay, I meant to say this too, real quick, because like she said, so I wore my Paramore shirt, but don't compare her to Paramore. She's not Paramore.
We're not Paramore.
But
I'm taller than her.
yeah. Oh yeah, there's a picture of her when she met them, and her next to Haley Williams is so funny. Actually,
Really so
Haley, can you come on out?
That's why she canceled her tour date. No, just kidding.
So I found this shirt at a Goodwill. I literally never look at t-shirts, but it is a vintage Paramore shirt, and I was so excited. And then this is from when I saw them on tour. It's like a Paramore jacket that I literally never wear because I just don't. But
It's called a
really
windbreaker.
Cool. Yeah, windbreaker.
It breaks the wind.
It says, "Hit Me with Lightning" from their
Yes.
song "Hard Times." And the first time me and Atlanta met, we sang "Hard Times"
Yes.
Cool.
karaoke.
Yeah.
And I
Nice.
had to like really push her to do some karaoke, but we did it, and it was so much fun.
Okay, here's my thing. This is why I don't do karaoke, is because I sing for a living.
Yeah.
Who
whatever.
likes a
Yeah,
karaoke
yeah.
person and you're like, they can sing. I want the person who's going to entertain me with like the fluctuating vocal cords. Yeah.
You can do both. And then actually, the last thing, I wore this necklace because it's a piece of bread and it says "Friends," and
Nice.
I wore it because you guys have your song "Half Loaf,"
Yeah.
and so I was looking at all my necklaces. I was like, "Oh, this
Yes.
one would work."
That's one of
So-
my favorites to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. I dressed up just for y'all.
I love this. So I also have one more thing for
okay.
everybody.
Oh yes.
So I brought you guys, t-shirts. Woo! So we're still yelling. Yeah! Merch,
It's
sponsor
good.
us.
You should have brought a t-shirt cannon. That would have been so.
Here, I got it. Here.
Okay.
Just blast you away.
Good throw.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
this one's a
is
tank
so
top
cool.
right here. This is
So
cool.
Got flowers.
You gave us the sizes, so find your size.
Ooh.
Find your size. By all means, my merch is in the car, so if you want to turn it off for something else, I got you. But
Multiple
yeah.
styles.
This one's mine.
Check them out. You got a website for that, Atlanta?
Oh yeah, insert plug. Hexproofband.com.
Well, actually, so we'll go ahead and wrap up here. But I did want to ask one more question.
Yeah.
You guys said, like, will we open for big artists? Who would be like a dream artist that you could open up for?
Paramore.
Honestly, like, Paramore would be one of them. I mean, I feel like any of our influences, like
Yeah.
A Day to Remember, 4 Years
Nirvana.
Strong. Nirvana. You hit it right on the head.
Maybe we should cut that out. I don't know. That probably got a little too dark.
It was funny.
Something in the way. I don't know. I just like, I'm trying to think of any bands because a lot of my bands I like, they're no longer a band.
Gotcha.
Which is super unfortunate. Yeah.
Well, if you are a big band and you're looking for someone to open for you,
we hype man.
Hexproof are
New bands,
your people. Are you guys looking to like hire a new guitar player or?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, someone to join the team for sure. So guitar player, bass player. I mean, the whole thing is to grow and grow and grow. And then one day get like Paramore, have a synth player, just a tambourine player.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. So if you're looking for a band, they don't turn women away, obviously. So unlike those other stinky bands that we talked about earlier. And okay, so now time for all the plugs as usual. Like, where can people find you? Any new projects coming out first? Actually, let's talk about that because we talked about the song a little bit. Do you guys have a timeline for that?
No.
Okay. Any new shows coming up?
Probably end of summer release for the song.
Honestly, we just finished one. It's literally like the finalized stage. We just haven't had an exact date, but yeah, probably end of the summer. I probably will say we're probably coming out with at least 2 songs for this year. Yeah. And then shows, we don't have anything on the books right now. And then I'm trying to think of any other projects. We're really just trying to,
solidify more of the live show aspect. So we give you that bang bang experience, you know?
Yeah, but we're probably going to do another Spotify studio session too with the new stuff. I mean, a lot of it's just preparing for this next big release. We're coming out with new merch, like the whole 9 yards, and then hopefully some weekender tours around. So,
well, you guys can go find them at Hexproof on Spotify. Listen to their new song "Together Again," their Spotify session of "Together Again." Yeah, and all their other old music because it's also good, despite what producers say.
Yeah.
So Instagram plugs, all that. Your 18 accounts.
Instagram is Hexproof Band.
Okay.
My personal one is Atlanta X Jade. So Atlanta, like the city, the letter X, and then JADE.
Hair. Do you want to plug your hair?
Oh, hair is Hair by Atlanta.
If you need to get your hair done.
If you need to get your hair did.
At Chris Ram if you want to go see some shenanigans.
Yeah.
All right.
And then our Venmo. No, I'm just kidding. Cash App.
And you can find us at Successfully Unsigned. So we are going to go do a fun little live performance. And I'm so excited to see this.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. This was so much fun.
Yes, you guys are such a delight to talk to. I love it.
Thank you.
I sound so proper.
Dude,
but we're going to go do a live performance, which I'm so excited about. And so go check that out on YouTube. That will be out soon. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Oh, wait, you said I don't want to do it.